There's a phrase I'm hearing on this show all the time, and I have to take it apart. I have to dissect it. I have to see what's behind it. A number of you are living in a dream world, folks. You're living in a dream world. It generally comes up when I talk about marriage. Everybody knows I've been married more than just about every radio talk show host out there. Married 4 times, going through my 4th divorce. Larry King's not on the radio anymore, Dean. If he was, I would certainly concede the crown to Larry, but he's moved to television now. So, Dr. Dean Adele, I believe, has been married 5 times. But I'm definitely up there in the top 5. No question about it. Married 4 times, going through my 4th divorce. And so the subject of marriage comes up on this show a lot. A lot. Really does. And I thought that it would be interesting to look at something that you've been saying to me when you call in on the telephone. It's troubling me because you are mistaken. I ask people all the time, what's in it for a guy to get married? Or why get married? There are variations on this question. And almost everybody responds. Of course, they have a variety of responses, but there's one response that's pretty consistent throughout it all. People say, you get married for security. A number of people believe that getting married will provide them with something called security. First of all, that implies that as a single person, you are not and cannot be secure. Do you need a second person to be secure? Can you not be secure on your own? Why do you need to get married to have security? That's one thing I want to know. Here's another one. What gives you the harebrained idea that getting married provides you security? Now, I'll speculate a little bit here. Some of you are still under the impression when you get married, it's like handcuffing yourself to the Golden Gate Bridge. You're stuck there, and you can't go anywhere. Because at one time, it was very hard to get a divorce. I mean, if you could dive back to the times when marriage was largely a religious institution, religion such as the Roman Catholic religion, very reluctant to give you a divorce or an annulment. So when you would get married, you had to have a lot of money to get the divorce, or you have to have a pretty good reason. And some people had pretty good reasons in the Catholic Church, and they still couldn't get an annulment or a divorce. You know, my husband is beating me, my husband's a drunk, blah, blah. You couldn't get a divorce anyway. Rich people got divorces. Frank Sinatra got Catholic Church approved divorces. Because the chairman of the board could just hand over a little cashola to the Catholic Church. Nothing they like more than the hard green stuff. Well, except for the hard, fleshy-colored stuff. That they like that too. But the cold, hard green stuff, that's what they like the most. So Frank would fork over some of the cashola, and suddenly he'd be divorced. Unlike Catholics who made $20,000 a year, they couldn't get divorced. So I guess by handcuffing yourself to another person, somehow people feel they have security. But there's no guarantee the other person will work. There's no guarantee the other person will treat you nicely. There's no guarantee the other person won't be a drunk or a drug addict. There's no guarantee they'll stay with you, even if they are legally bound to you by a document. Where's the security? Where is it? Getting married does not provide you with security. About the only thing getting married does, and I've alluded to this on the air, but let's elaborate on this a bit, is that there are women out there who want to sit on their fat asses that are getting fatter, do absolutely nothing, pay for absolutely nothing, have somebody required to pay their bills for them, and then if he gets fed up and decides to go away, he can be forced to pay her bills for the rest of her life. So I guess that person has security. But really, for the average person, does marriage provide security? I say no. In fact, there's no such thing as security in life. There isn't. God damn it, even if you have money, you don't have security. Somebody could steal all your money. The stock market could crash. Somebody could shoot you. You could get hit by a bus. What is security anyway? Good idea to have a few bucks in the bank, but even if you do, my God, what happens if you got a brain tumor? Where's the security? You don't have it. It's an illusion. There is no security in life. You can only be secure in who you are. Secure in yourself. And even that doesn't protect you from disease. It doesn't protect you from abuse. It doesn't protect you from being poor. It doesn't protect you from being thrown out of your house or apartment. It just makes you feel better when bad things happen to you, and that's really all there is. So I'm trying to understand this. Those of you who think that getting married provides you with security, or even that there's such a thing in life as security, where did you get this idea from? Peter on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Tom?
Peter.
Oh, my God, I'm on. I love you.
What are you on?
Hey, I totally agree with you on this point for the women. The women are after what they believe is security. But I think the guys basically get kind of tired and lazy of chasing sex, and they figure that marriage is going to be a consistent way to get sex. So it's kind of an arrangement. The women get what they think.
Which is a lie. Most people get less sex once they get married. Take it from me.
Don't you think that's it? The women think that it's a security situation, which you're right. It is a lie because you can get a divorce for just a couple bucks. But I think the men basically get lazy. They get tired of chasing sex, and it's kind of an arrangement, security for sex.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think you're on to something. I think certainly that's... but these are both illusions.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is no such thing as security. The only security is if you're planning on nailing a guy for half of everything he has, and you can get away with it, that's it. Other than that, do you call that security, by the way?
Right.
And as far as getting regular sex, let me just tell all you young men out there, getting married not only doesn't guarantee you regular sex or more sex, it's almost guaranteed to provide you with less than you're getting now. Guaranteed. Especially if you're planning on having kids. Hello.
That's right.
You're going to be getting less. So if you're getting married to get more sex, you're a fool.
Hey, I wanted to thank you also, Tom, because of you, my opinion is that written into the marriage contract is that the woman's job is to take care of the man's sexual needs.
Right.
So if the woman isn't doing that, the man should just basically go to his wife and say, look, be frank with her and say, look, this is part of the reason we got hitched in the first place, and lay down the law. And I had to have that kind of a discussion with my wife, and it worked. I said, look, honey, I hate to be bold about this, or, you might find this kind of crude, but this is the way it is.
Yeah.
And, it works. It works.
Yeah.
Can I ask you why you got married? Or why
never for security. Let's start with that. And each time I think it was a different reason. When the first time I got married at 18, I was in love. And not only was I in love, but I had a really great relationship and thought I'd be with that person forever. And really, honestly, we had a great relationship. And the only reason we didn't stay together is because I was 18 when I got married. And by the time I was 20, she changed her mind and decided that, after all, she did want to have kids. And I didn't at that time. And that was it. And it was the only argument we ever had. I mean, we got along great. And it was a shame that it happened that way, but that's what happened. But I didn't get married for security, if anything, other than the stated reasons. It was because I was 18 and I was saying F you to my parents. But
what about the other three?
The second one, I was in love again. I was in love. And, but again, not for security. I was the one making all the money. I was the one with the good job. I was older by about 7 years. Where's the security for me? I mean, there's no security in that. The third time I got married because I was trying to get back at number 2. It was a stupid reason to get married. Stupid. Not fair to the other person, but again, not for security reasons. And then the fourth time I got married, in that particular case, I could have waited. For me, I was not in a rush to get married, especially since I'd gotten divorced, in the recent past. But I was with someone who wanted to get married. And we had a prenup, and so I felt like I had nothing to lose financially by getting married. But again, not for security.
Right.
So I don't understand this when people say, well, you were for the security. What security? You want to get a divorce, you call an attorney. And depending on what state you're in and how complicated it is, for as little as $350, you got a divorce.
Right.
So where's the security? I don't get it.
It's an illusion.
Yes. I mean, if there's anybody there who has security in marriage, would you please call me and tell me what that is?
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes, sir.
Do you ever go to Tito's Tacos?
I have, yes.
It rocks.
Like any Angelino, baby, of course. Tito's is not far from where we work.
That's what I thought.
Of course I've been to Tito's. Have you ever been to Johnny's French Dip Pastrami?
Right next door, baby.
Now that is the definitive L.A. pastrami sandwich right there. That is just killer.
Right on.
Killer.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank
Take
you.
me out with the bong hit.
Here it comes, Peter. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Seth on a cell phone. Seth, you're on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Seth.
You know, I've been listening to you since you were 14 years old. You've raised me. I'm now 22, and I have to say, you know what? You're right once again.
You're the son I never had, Seth.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's all a paradigm. I think security is all a paradigm and a fantasy or the illusion that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, women are brought up to think that they can meet the Prince Charming and he'll come sweep them off their feet.
Right.
And, that's all they'll ever need, and they think that's going to be secure.
Yes.
And guys are brought up to believe that if they can get their head between a pair of 36-feet chests, that it's not going to budge anywhere, so they'll be secure.
Right.
And you know what? It's all about the paradigm. If you think you're secure, I guess that's as secure as you're going to get. You know, a bus can, hit you while you're crossing the street, or you
Yes.
can be from, bad part of town and get shot. That's all there is to it. Secure, I think, it's a falsehood. You can't actually really be secure.
You have to be secure in yourself. There's no such thing as another person providing you with security. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. It can't be bought. It's not something that you're going to get from a marriage. I mean, just like exactly like you said, $350 can get you a divorce, and secure something that stays the same and doesn't change too much for you, and $350 will make that all go away for you.
Good point. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're absolutely right. Amber on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to just say that marriage is a business opportunity. It's a tax write-off. It's an opportunity to purchase things between each other in a higher expense. It's also a security because if you...
But it's really not worth it because the person paying the bulk of the bills will give up most of that advantage in a divorce anyway.
Well, that's true, but if you have kids, then them knowing that their parents are coming home to them, that's a security for them.
But there's no security for the people getting married is what I'm saying. Zero.
Well, it's security in a way of that you can start a life off. Say you start out young at 18 and get married.
You shouldn't be doing that anyway, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think...
if you know that the vast majority of marriages of people who are 18 end up in divorce, where's the security?
Oh, yeah, they do. But if you have nothing and you start out from scratch and you start out with somebody else, then you can build up to have something.
What do you mean? You build up to have something on your own?
Well, yeah, you can, but having somebody there with you to encourage you is a lot better than having nobody.
There, let me tell you something. My career, as it is, have I had women help me pack my things or clean my house? Sure. But how do you think I got where I am?
Well, I guess you did it by yourself, but
Right, and everybody does it by themselves. Come on. Yeah, every once in a while along the way, a friend will be encouraging to you or that kind of thing. But if you don't have security within yourself, you're not going to make it, period. No matter who you're with.
Well, I love being single myself. I would never get married in the world. But there are so many people that they think it's great when they first get into it.
The fact that they think that doesn't mean it's great. The first time somebody sticks a needle in their arm and shoots heroin into a vein, they think it's great.
So that little bit of happiness that they get from the beginning.
They think it's great. The fact that they think it's great doesn't mean it's great, does it?
I guess not.
Yeah, well, so the fact that you're 18 and you get married and it feels great, does that mean you've got security?
No. But
I got married. Let me tell you, I got married at 18.
My parents were divorced when I was young, and I think that if they would have stayed together, I probably wouldn't have had a kid of my own so young, because I probably would have had that shelter and security as a child.
But there is no such thing.
I think there is.
Where?
My little girl.
Oh, now we know. Yes. By the way, 21 years old, Everett, Washington. Of course, you have a little girl.
Oh, thank you.
You know the deal.
It's the swamp out here. Yes, I know, but no.
Because everybody's doing it.
Not everybody's doing it.
Just about.
Well, I guess everybody's doing it, but
I don't mean having sex. I mean having kids, unmarried. Come on.
Well, kids unmarried, yes, everybody.
How old were you when you got knocked up?
I was 16.
16. There we go.
My parents divorced when I was 13, and I've been living on my own ever since.
Great.
I think that finding the security and
you don't have any security.
I didn't have any security. But
You
that's
still
why
don't.
I got pregnant.
Oh, and that gave you security, didn't it?
The sex gave me security, I guess.
None of it gave you security, dear. None of it gave you security, and to this day you don't have security. Michelle, on a cell. You're on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Michelle.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I disagree with the last caller. I myself, my parents divorced before I was even a year old. My mom raised me. She was always at work. I had no supervision, hardly any attention, but I'll tell you what, one thing I'm very proud of is that I've never been pregnant. That is ridiculous that she blames her parents. She needs to take responsibility for her own actions.
Uh-huh.
All of my friends were pregnant, but not I. So I'm proud to say that. But on another note, I've been waiting to tell you this, that I am one of the many women that have also gotten off to you in my car.
Really?
Driving home, yes.
Are you serious?
Very sexy.
Oh, my God. What do you do? You turn the bass up and everything?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to call and let you know that. And I've seen what you look like, and it doesn't matter. You're sexy, Tom. You just go out there and have fun.
All right, Michelle. Thank you. Veronica on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Veronica.
How are you?
Do you care?
Oh, heck yes, I care.
I'm doing great.
I'm waiting so long to talk to you.
Really?
I'm so glad you finally mentioned this topic.
Oh?
The real reason, supposedly, the women are in relationships and they get married for security reasons is not when the husband is alive, it's when he's dead.
Assuming you last that long.
well, you know, I can guarantee you that much. I'm going to last a lot longer than my husband.
Yeah, but
a heart attack first.
So then the question becomes, of course, whether when I say whether you last that long, it means whether he stays with you that long.
Well, he better. I'll chop his nuts off.
Is that so?
No, I'm kidding. No, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Mm-hmm.
Hardworking, helps me with the kids and everything. But, no, the real reason why women stay with men and they want to get married is not like you say for love, for the what were you talking exactly about? I'm sorry. I completely lost it. I'm so excited.
Oh, look at this.
I'm serious, man. You make me nervous.
I make you nervous?
Yeah, it's kind of like a nervous excited.
I'm such a harmless guy.
Yeah, sure you are. I hear you. See, there you go. No, but the real reason they get married is because, like, for example, if they do get married, the wife gets everything. And unless, of course, the husband has a prenup, which nowadays hardly anybody thinks about getting one. But
well, actually, even though hardly anyone does, more people do than ever.
Well, the ones that have a little bit of money.
And I hope everybody listening will get a prenup. Every one of you.
They should. They should.
That's right. But, of course, your husband didn't make you sign one.
Oh, heck no.
That means if he tries to leave, forget cutting his nuts off. He can just take what he has.
Well, you know what? I have a very good protection right there. His brothers will go after him.
His brothers?
Yeah. He's a Middle Eastern guy, and, they go for the women stay in their marriage and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, his family, I don't know about everybody else's, but his family's really good with taking care of him, making sure he's not, screwing around me, and they don't have to worry about me because I'm harmless.
What country is he from?
He's from Palestine.
Palestine?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes.
How'd you get into those Palestinians? How did you get into that?
Well, see, it came from watching that movie Lawrence of Arabia.
Really?
And I love hairy men. I don't care if they don't have any on their heads. As long as they have it on the body, I don't care about the rest.
You're like a guy who looks like a throw rug.
Oh, I love it. Just running my fingers through that. Oh!
You're into back hair and everything.
Everything, Tom. The hairier, the scarier, the better.
Really? Listen to you.
Disgusting, huh?
I don't know. I try to stay away from the women with hair on their back.
Oh, I would too. I would too, but I'm just talking about the men. I'm not a dyke or a butch or anything like that, so as long as they're men, they're fine.
Just check it. Hi, Veronica.
Okay, Tom, thanks.
Thanks for the call. There she goes. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Jesse on a cell phone. Jesse, you're on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Jesse.
So, you would agree, right, that if you could wait until you're financially and emotionally ready for marriage, it's probably a better environment to raise children, right?
Oh, yeah. In fact, it's the only... other than having an intimate relationship with another person, it's the only other good reason to get married.
So how about the security achieved for your genes?
Your genes don't need security. Come on, friend. Where do people get this idea? I mean, unless you're Albert Einstein or some outstanding human being. Come on.
Well, we all got to do our best.
I love all the people who go, you know what? The Smith name has to be protected. I got to pass it along to my kids. Come on.
Right. Well, that's the imperative all life's been using for the last 4 billion years.
But the point is, it's a stupid reason to do it. You know, I think people should just admit why they have kids. It's an ego trip. It's an ego boost. That is the basic reason why people do it. There is no other reason why people have children. It is for their own ego.
Well, what about the programming to, just evolution supports it?
Come on, you don't give a rat's ass about evolution. You don't care about evolution. Stop it.
No, you're right, I don't. I care about getting laid.
There you are, sitting there with your cell phone in Orange County, worried about the evolution of the human race. Doubt it.
That's very true, but it's why we do.
You care about you. By the way, are you married?
No.
You have a girlfriend?
I do.
You have 8 kids?
No.
All right. The whole idea, when people have kids, it's because they sit there going, imagine what kind of kids we're going to have.
Well, there's forces.
We're so attractive. Imagine how attractive our kids would be. We're so smart. Imagine how smart our kids would be. You know what? We know how to do things. We have the answers to life as we know it. And we want to pass that along to the children because we know so much about everything. It's a big ego trip.
I guess you're right, because basically I just want more people to have my genes than the other guy. Right?
You know what? You could sit there. You could have a kid every 9 months until your wife drops dead from exhaustion. And you will not be able to impact the world one iota. Because there's so many of us out here.
Well, it's the most lasting legacy we can have these days.
It's not even a legacy. What if your kid hates you?
Well, so be it then. But,
how's that for a legacy? How about Mrs. Hitler's legacy? How about that?
Oh, that's not bad, I suppose.
I mean, you never know what kind of legacy you're going to be leaving. That's so silly. It also puts a lot of pressure on your kids.
Well, I suppose so. I would never tell them that's what I had them for. That they were there to immortalize the strain. But
you were there because you looked at yourself in the mirror and you said, you know what, I'm looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I had kids, they'd look good, just like me.
I just want to do the world a favor, man.
It's all about me and how I feel about myself. Because it's me, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and I. It's all about me.
Well, I suppose that is being secure in your...
That is why people have children. There are no other reasons. No other reasons. They're not doing the world a favor. They're not helping out in any way. They just want to see what kind of kids they would create. With just a bunch of Dr. Frankensteins working in the laboratory. Ooh, imagine the kids I could create. That's all we are.
Yeah, I'd like to experiment with as many women out there as possible and see what could happen.
Now, don't worry. One of them will nail you, and then eventually you'll be paying over the rest of your life, and then we'll see what a good idea that was. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tom.
All right, dear. It's Anna on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Anna.
How are you?
Do you care?
Hey, do I care?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Then don't ask.
Okay. Well, the reason why I was calling is because I heard you discussing with the previous gentleman about the reason why people have children.
Right.
And you were saying that it was to kind of stroke our own egos.
That's all it is. It's nothing more than that.
Well, I was calling because I strongly disagree with you. I am a Christian, and I fully believe that we're supposed to go forth and procreate and, bring new life to the earth. And I don't really agree with the egotistical thing. I do want children myself. I'm not married. I'm 28.
Why do you want them?
Well, several reasons. I'm very loving, and I think I could offer a lot to a child on this earth.
Why not adopt?
That's not completely out of the question, but I wouldn't want to do that until after I got married. I would really want to...
Yeah, but I'm saying, though, why have your own children? Why not adopt them?
That's a good question. I mean, it's not completely out of the question.
The reason is because if you insist on having your own, it's an ego trip.
Well, I am pretty cute, and I think that my kids would be pretty cute. And
there we go. That's the ego right there. Thank you. You just proved my point. I'm pretty cute.
I don't think that's all that it is. I mean, it might be.
That's the primary reason, because there are plenty of poor children out there. If you have all this love to give, they would love to be adopted by you.
Well, that's true, but they also might have come from abusive families. They might, you never know,
Well, that's who needs your love more than anybody. Isn't that true?
Yeah, but that also requires lots and lots.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to put any work in, and besides, they wouldn't be cute like you.
Well, no, that's not the case either. I've seen lots of cute adopted children. I just think that...
You're worried about getting defective merchandise.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it. That's like, while I am Christian, you might find this really interesting. If I found out that I was pregnant with a retarded child, I would have an abortion.
Really?
I would.
Well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What if you found out the kid was going to be born, with Down syndrome?
I would have an abortion.
Multiple sclerosis.
An abortion. I don't know if you can find out if they'll have
cerebral palsy.
I don't think all that stuff is...
mental retardation.
Mental retardation, you can find out before you give birth, and I would have an abortion.
Really?
Yeah.
So you are obsessed with having children who are defect-free, and who are cute like you.
Well, no.
Sounds like ego to me.
Well, I don't think that I would describe it like that. Like I said, I think it's a small percentage of the reason why people have children, but for me it's not 100% the reason why. So...
Mm-hmm.
But, I appreciate your perspective on things.
Well, gee, thanks. Jennifer on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Jennifer.
Well, I got to let you know, I listen to your program every once in a while. Every time I turn it on, I'm just infuriated.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would that be?
I don't know. I just think that sometimes you're a little off base, and I think that this was a point where I just needed to call you. And I just want to let you know that I am a mother. I have a daughter who's 2.5 years old, and I took issue with a couple of things that you said tonight.
What are they?
One, first of all, when you were referring to cerebral palsy as something that you get in utero, actually 85%...
we're not talking about... All right, that's irrelevant. That's not the topic. We're not here to discuss genetics. We're not here to discuss genetic testing. No.
Okay, but that is something that your last caller brought up.
Please do not spend 2 minutes of the show. We don't have time for this.
Hello?
This is not...
I don't know. I just think that sometimes you're a little off base, and I think that this was a point where I just needed to call you. And I just want to let you know that I am a mother. I have a daughter who's 2.5 years old, and I took issue with a couple of things that you said tonight.
What are they?
One, first of all, when you were referring to cerebral palsy as something that you get in utero, actually 85%.
We're not talking about. All right, that's irrelevant. That's not the topic. We're not here to discuss genetics. We're not here to discuss genetic testing. No.
Okay, but that is something that your last caller brought up.
Please do not spend 2 minutes of the show. We don't have time for this.
Hello?
This is not the topic, dear.
Okay, well, then the second thing that I have issue with is having a child of your own is one of the most selfless things that you can possibly do.
No, it is not selfless.
Yes,
it is completely selfish, completely self-centered.
It is not selfish.
Just admit that you are selfish. And that's all.
No, it's not. Do you have children of your own, Tom?
No.
Okay, then that is selfish.
That's because, no, it's not at all. How can I be selfish?
For their children all the time.
You didn't have children to help anybody but yourself. You had children for the same reason people eat a piece of chocolate cake, because you enjoy it for yourself. You're not doing anybody else a favor by having children.
Well, I personally think that producing my child was doing the world a favor.
No, you're not doing me a favor. In fact, I'm probably paying so you can have a child. You're not doing me a favor.
Absolutely not, Tom. I am a stay-at-home mother. My husband provides very well for our family.
You get tax deductions I don't get, and that means I'm paying for you to have a kid.
How are you paying for me to have a kid?
Because you get tax deductions I don't get.
You get tax
That means...
You own a home, Tom? Do you get tax deductions for your home?
I do, and by the way, you're not a regular listener. I would happily give those up in exchange for you giving up a tax deduction for a child.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Not ridiculous at all.
Okay, would you rather provide... Then how would we pay for these children to go to school, Tom?
Dear, you would have had a child whether or not you got a tax deduction.
You're absolutely right.
So therefore, it's your problem. And by the way, I am paying for your child to go to school. Because not only do you get a tax deduction, I pay property taxes so your kid can go to school.
Okay, well, how about this?
I don't use any of the school facilities, but I pay taxes for them, and your child benefits, the one that you had to do me a favor.
I'm not doing anyone a favor by...
You just said you did the whole world a favor by having a kid.
You know what? The only mother that probably didn't have a favor, do a favor to the world.
That is my mother, blah, blah, blah. This is getting old. Don't insult me. Make your point if you have one, which you don't. I'm waiting. They'll be waiting all night. Oh, she hung up. Coward! 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Stephen on a cell phone. I have less than a minute, and I'm not kidding. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. I listen to you all the time. Just real quick, man. You know, I think you're a little off on this one because, you know, I had kids because I had a great childhood. I cared, loved my brothers and sisters, loved my parents. And that's why I decided to have children. Not any selfish reason, not for evolution, just to have a family, man.
Because you wanted to do it for yourself, not for our benefit.
Well, of course. Well, I mean...
There's no difference between having a child and eating a piece of cake. You did it for your own enjoyment.
And, well, what else is there, man? It's my enjoyment.
Fine. I'm not even criticizing it. Just admit...